There we go. So, welcome, Costa Rica team heading off in November. Not long to go. So, I'm Millie. I kind of head up the team here at The Leap, and we've got Harry that's here too. He
Hi, everyone.
is helping me. He's going to be running your experience from the UK while you're there, taking all calls from parents or from you if there's problems or anything. So, he's listening in. So if you do call an emergency number, it's Harry that one is going to be chatting to. So the purpose of this Zoom is to get you organized, is to line expectations, running through your flight itinerary, money, activities, visas, phones, Wi-Fi, and staying safe. Okay, so we'll just go through each section, but it's interactive. So if you suddenly got a kind of burning question, just catch my attention and just answer it as we go through. Okay, so to start off with, I'm just going to remove you from my main screen so I can look at your Costa Rica flights. So we have got everybody, I'm just checking, everybody you're going on the 13th of November with American Airlines, and all of you, apart from Eliane and Eliane, no, you're on the same. Yeah, Eliane, she's meeting in Costa Rica. Everybody else, apart from Liam, you're on United. It seems to be on the same flight. Okay, so that's really good, really nice. So what I suggest you do, okay, you get to the airport, you check yourself in, okay, and you go through passport control to the other side, to, the plane side, not land side. And then Zoe's going to set you up a group WhatsApp. So then just start chatting and just meet each other on the other side. Okay.
So that's like he can't come. She can come at 8, well, 9.
Hold on. We've got somebody else. We've got somebody else on the line. Kirsty, we've got if you're talking, could you put yourself on mute? Okay. Um, okay, so that's the best thing. And then you'll all go across together. You are all going via Miami. Now, I'm warning you, Miami is a beast of an airport. So you are just but it's signposted, but you're going to have to go through American immigration. So don't dilly-dally when you get off the airplane. Get straight to immigration because that can take a long time. That's where you show your ESTA. So remember, everybody has to get an ESTA for this journey. And just don't dilly-dally, okay? Because it's a big airport to navigate. And then when you arrive at San Jose, you will come out into you go through immigration. You then have to do another bag check. I know it's so laborious. And then you come out these big doors onto a covered kind of walkway. Don't move from there. Okay. Don't drift off to the cafes because that's where you're going to be picked up. So just wait patiently. And our guide, our bus, depending on, what the traffic's like, will appear. So just sit tight. Then you're going to go straight to the Rosa of America for your first night, which is only about 15 minutes away. So then you can get your head down and try and get to some sleep, even though your body is going to be all over the place, not knowing quite what time of day it is. Okay, so that's your entrance in. Top tips for your entrance: do not have any food in your backpack. Okay, they really hate that because you won't be that. They'll strip your bag if they sniff a banana or a broken biscuit in your hand luggage. It's pretty much fresh food they don't like you bringing into the country. So ditch all bananas and apples and things like that. And have on you, readily available, in case they ask, your proof of exiting the country. Okay, so your return flight, just have it somewhere so you can access it really quickly. Some of the immigration officers might not ask, but some might be really tricky and could make your life hell. So just know you've got it. All right. Right. So that's your airport. You are then the next day, the itinerary. I'm just going to flick to your itinerary. So, as you know, it is a dynamic experience that you're on, and you've got one, two, three, four, five different locations throughout. So, the first day, you're going to wake up pretty early because of the jet lag, and you're going to go straight to Quepos, which is near San Manuel Antonio National Park. Okay, that's phase one. This is your community phase. This is where you're going to be living in a glorious finca on the edge of the jungle. It's really nice. It's a home from home. It's got a pool. It's got a volleyball court. It's really chilled and relaxed vibe. And this is where you'll ease into your experience, get to know everybody in the team, and everyone beds in. So yes, it's your community phase, but it's your bedding in phase. While you're here, you're going to be working at Coca Community Centre, which is a centre we have supported now since COVID. And the kids there totally rely on the leapers coming through every single month. It's one of their highlights. They absolutely love it. So the jobs that you will do is very dynamic. I can't say exactly what you're going to be doing now because it gets determined the week before as opposed to what needs to be doing. But you'll be doing about 2.5 days of kind of physical labor in the community center. It's revamping it, but at the same time, it's hanging out with all the kids that are reliant on the community center after school and those early years were instead of school because their parents are all at work. It's supporting a very, very local fishing village. So where everybody really does go to work, mums and dads. So it's the community center is very important for them to support all the working parents. Okay. So while you're here, you'll also go into the national park and do an experience in the national park. And on another day, you'll do a waterfall hike, which is on the edge of the national park. And that's where you'll see all these amazing, crazy waterfalls, which should be full at this time of year because you're coming out of the rainy season. So that will be really exciting. Now, of course, you're all going to want to jump in and dive into the waterfalls. But before you do that, the risk assessment has to be done there and there before you do that from our guides to check the depth of the water, depth of the plunge pools. So everybody, you don't dive in and hit your head. Okay, so you just don't go woohoo and just whip off and just jump straight in because it changes. The depth of the water changes all the time, depending on the rivers. And so whether you can dive in, jump in, walk in, depends on that. Okay. So that's your first experience. Then you're going to travel inland to Natua, which is your challenging phase. This is the wildlife center. Wherever it's hot, it's steamy, and the accommodation is like a big long house where you're in bunk beds and there's a curtain kind of dividing up the kind of boys area from the girls area. The food is pinto and you're up at 5:30 in the morning feeding all the incredible wildlife. So it is your gritty phase, and you've just got to grin and bear it because again, we support this. It's not a government-run wildlife centre. It's all privately run, and they love the help. They love showing you what they're doing, and the leap, you guys going there actually keeps this wildlife centre up and open. And this is your main chance to see up close and personal the wildlife of Costa Rica. And it's a rehabilitation center and it's a breeding center, so you'll learn all about it. But it is incredible. The birds there are incredible. The noise, take your earplugs. That's what you need for nighttime because the birds, yep, they like to screech. Okay, so you're going to be doing, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 nights in the tour, and then you're going to go high. Then you're going to go to Monteverde, to the cloud forest. And this is much, much cooler in temperature, which you'll be so happy with having been in the tour. It's much cooler, it's green, it's lush, it's mountainous. You've got and it's the adventure capital of Costa Rica. Here you could go bungee jumping, going on the zip wire. You could go horse riding, you could go hiking. There's loads of different things to be done. So how we script this is that you're going to arrive and then on day one you're going to go for this amazing sunset hike. Now, if it's clear, then you're going to go right to the tippy top, to the spine of Costa Rica. And if it's clear, you should be able to see the Pacific and the Caribbean coasts. Pray for a clear day. The next, every morning after that, every morning you'll be doing a organized activity, which is kind of included hikes, meeting these reforestation projects, doing the hanging bridges, all those things. But in the afternoon, you've got free time to choose which crazy adventure you want to do. But definitely, definitely do the zip wire. That's really, really fun. The bungee jump, I mean, if you really need to do that, do it here. But if you don't, or if you're thinking, oh, cost-wise, I can only do one, definitely do the zip wire because at the end of the zip wire, when you've literally shot across in a Superman pose across the last canyon, then they ask if you want to do the Tarzan swing, which, as far as I'm concerned, is as good as a bungee jump. You go really high up and you then free fall and swing over the canopy. It's pretty cool. I have to say I didn't do it, but I did do everything else. So, I think that's pretty good. So that I definitely, definitely recommend doing that. But all of that will be booked when you're there. So you don't have to make those decisions now. After that, so we're now pretty much halfway. Those are slotted in. Halfway now, after here, you're moving to the Pacific coast, to the center of all our operations, which is based in Santa Teresa. Now, Santa Teresa is the kind of hippie, cool beach kind of town on the Pacific coast. It's really cool. It's really groovy. And it's got the kind of hippie surf yoga vibe to it. Okay, so everyone's going to be walking around with a surfboard balanced on their head or a yoga mat tucked under their arm. Smoothies, really healthy food, cool beach bars. That's where you're going. So you'll love this place. The place where you're going to be living is our main base called Jacara Camp. And that's about a 10-minute walk up. You've got the Pacific, got these wild beaches. You've got a strip, and then it goes straight into the jungle. And then you've got beach bars, which are just carved out into the jungle. Then you've got a main road with all the town along it. Santa Teresa is about a kind of 1.5 kilometers long. It's a weird place in a way. And then you go up a steep hill into the jungle. This is the whole linear line, and Jacara is up the hill. I'd say 10-15 minute walk, quite a steep one on the way up. You might think, oh, this is exhausting, but you do get used to it, but it's very easy to go down. So while you're here, what are you going to be doing? Up until now, you haven't had a day off. So when you're in Santa Teresa, the weekends, you can chill your beans. You can relax. But during the week, you're going to be up and out. You're going to be surfing. You're going to be doing yoga. You're going to be helping at the finca, at the school that we support. You're going to be hiking along the beach, going and doing this wonderful trek where you jump into all the tide pools and get to the waterfall, big waterfall at the end. And then at the midway, you're going to go to Serenas, which is an hour further along the beach, it's a private ranch, and it's an amazing private beach, and that's where a fantastic turf conservation project happens. So you're going to live in Serenas for 3 days. It's completely cut off from the rest of the world. This is where I really want, there's a bit of service, but I just say switch your phone off here and just go for it because it is stunning. It's remote. Hopefully, you're going to see turtles because you're right at the beginning of the turtle season. So, what you should be seeing are the big mother turtles coming up and laying their eggs. And then, what you'll be doing is when you're finding these new nests in the morning, is then gently removing those eggs and putting them into the hatchery. And we put them into the hatchery there because the poaching is terrible in Costa Rica, really bad. In fact, on the road, the kind of the joke of it, there is a little house there and a family, and he's one of the chief poachers. So you have to kind of make friends with the poacher and just say, now, we've left you a nest. You can go and help yourself to that one, but don't take any out of the hatchery. So it's quite an interesting dynamic that goes on. But it's wild beaches. It's just utterly, utterly stunning. So pray for a turtle or two. But if there aren't, there's still loads of activity to be done in the hatchery, keeping it going. Okie dokes. Then you'll go back to Santa Teresa for a couple of days right at the end to celebrate your 4-week adventure. And then you go back to San Jose for your flight back home. Any questions on your whirlwind tour of Costa Rica? All what you were expecting? Okay, it's good. So each phase, my message to you all is you're gonna, some of you are gonna love different phases, different activities more than others. You're going to, the typical theme and energy of the trip. It's designed, curated to allow you to bed in gently at the beginning. Then you go and have your challenge. Then you go and have your adventure. Then you go to the beach at the end to kind of celebrate everything that you've achieved, to learn, just to do a bit more kind of chilling out, but with the surfing and the yoga and all of that. So it really busy first half, and then it lessens off in the second half. You're still busy, but it has a different vibe. So bed in, look out for each other in the beginning. No one knows each other, so it's a challenge for you all. Okay, you'll get tired probably week 3, and then week 4 you'll pop out at Serenas thinking, oh my God, this is amazing, and oh my God, we're all going home. And just go with the journey that we've put together. Okay, and you'll all be doing this as you go along. Okay. So that's what the itinerary looks like. I briefly want to just describe the accommodation in each place. So the first place, when you're in the finca, that is a private home with a pool. Yes, you're in shared accommodation throughout, but that's what you're going to do. Kind of food in-house, lovely. But the one night we're suggest you go down into Quepos and have a night out. Okay? When you're in Natuwa, it's tough. You're in a longhouse, in bunk beds, hot and sweaty, local food, pinto all the way. Okay? That's beans to you and I. Lots of beans, lots of vegetables. And all the food's included there. When you get to Monteverde, breakfast and lunch is included. You're staying in a hostel that we take over, and it's 2 to 3 to a room. Really nice, right in the center of town. I've stayed there. It's kind of clean, it's comfortable, but the location is really, really good. Okay, now supper is not included. So now you've got the freedom to go out every night and try different places. And our wonderful guides, they will show you what's good and what's not, but fun place. When you go to Santa Teresa, again, breakfast and lunch included. Supper isn't because you want to go into town. Now, some nights you might not want to go into town. You could go to the supermarket, get your own food and cook it in camp, or they might do a camp night because the cook is fantastic there and you stay in or you go out. But you've got all this flexibility so that you can experience the best of what is on offer. In Serenas, all the food is included. Okay, so half the time, pretty much, half the journey, all foods included, half it isn't in the evenings only. So you've got to budget accordingly for this. So this is where I'm dead honest with you. Costa Rica is expensive. Okay? There is no getting around it. It's painful for everybody. So you've got to be careful. When you're at Santa Teresa, you cannot go out and go to all those flash bars and start dropping $10, $20 on a cocktail every night. You just can't do it. So you've got to be savvy. You've got to ask the team which of the local bars have got, happy hour, and you've got to kind of work your way around it. Buy your beers from the supermarket, put them in the fridge. You know, you set yourself a budget and stick with it. But I think a meal out, you're going to have to budget $20. Okay. But again, it all depends on how much you drink and how savvy you are. So, if I'm thinking about spending money, how much should you be thinking? I would say $200 a week spending money if you're careful. Now, plus activities. So the activities I would budget for, I would definitely budget for the zip line, which is $60 or $70. It's in your itinerary, but it's about that. It's about that much. And another activity which I definitely go for is when you're at Santa Teresa, they can organize for you to go to one of the islands, which you go off on a speedboat to one of the islands and you see all, hopefully the kind of whales and the dolphins, and you go snorkeling, and that's really, really cool. And that's about $70, $80. So those are the two excursions that I would definitely put on my wish list and try and budget for. The rest, you can take it or leave it. Okay? Extra surfing, if any of you really get into your surfing, extra surfing can be done for £60 a session. Extra yoga is about $20 for a session. So all of that, can be added on, but I don't think you'll need to do that. You'll be busy enough. But just in case you think, I love this, we can work it into your agenda. Okay? Now, while we're on the topic of money, the best way to get it is to get a Monzo, Revolut, Starling, one of those cards. Get one of those, and then use the ATM. Okay, little and often, but you'll be paying in local currency, and you can do the kind of tap and go in most of the bars and restaurants. Okay. Wi-Fi. Okay, when you're there on day one, you can be taken to get a local SIM card. Easy peasy. But for communicating to the outside world, when you're in the finca, Wi-Fi's sketchy. Okay, so there's always ways around it, but it's pretty sketchy. And so I would be saying to parents, it's going to be hard to make a phone call in that first week. When you're in Natuwa, there is no Wi-Fi. Okay. Then when you're in Monteverde, Santa Teresa, loads of Wi-Fi. Easy peasy. When you're at Serenas, nothing. Okay. So just let everybody at home know what it feels like, what it looks like, so they can manage their expectations. Now, if you were to manage kind of parent expectations, if you were really struggling, okay, if you were ill, if something's just not right, your first port of call is to go to one of your guides and to tell them. Okay, what we really want to avoid is you ringing home saying, oh my God, I've been sick all night, da 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 da. Then the parents call me or Harry in the middle of the night, and then we've got to then call Costa Rica, which is just a waste of everyone's time. If you were ill in the middle of the night, you go straight to the guide and they sort it out there and then. If you needed to go to the hospital, they will take you. Doctor, they will take you direct. They will let us know, Harry and I know, and then we will let your parents know. Okay. So what the aim is that you're dealing with everything on the ground with the guides. So everything is just really efficient. Now, if you're homesick, not, and really struggling with it, we've seen it all before. Just talk to your guides. We have strategies, we know if anyone's going to feel out of sorts and just think, oh my God, this is too much of a challenge, or this isn't what I was expecting, it's going to happen in the first week. Okay, we're ready for it. We can help. So don't sit alone and think, oh my God, I don't know who to talk to. Talk to your guides. Okay. And they are gorgeous. They've been there. They've done this so many times. So that is them. When it comes to your safety, okay, this is where I put my teacher's hat on. This is not a school trip. Okay. You are not going to be treated like you are, at school. You are treated like young adults and you've got all the freedom that you need, but it comes with respect. The respect, it comes down to safety. So when you arrive, you're going to be told the do's and don'ts in each area. Yeah. And the do's and don'ts is all about keeping you safe. For example, don't just jump into the waterfall without, one of the guys checking the depth. Don't think you can go and get absolutely plastered one night and not come home. This is just like you got to make sensible decisions and work as a team. And if you don't, this is what happens. So this is, and as an example, not so long ago we had somebody that just thought, oh, I'm just going to decide to get absolutely plastered every night. And it's like, okay, that's a bit extreme, have a few beers, but really, you come in and you throw up in the dorm with everybody, kind of ruins everyone else's fun. You just like kind of wind your neck in type conversation goes on. The second time, it's just like, okay, now you're boring. You haven't listened. You're not respecting the guides. You're going to get, this is a verbal warning. Then if you don't do it again, you get an email from me. Okay. Nobody wants an email from me. Okay. Saying this is it. And if you do it again, then you get asked to leave the program. And that if you're asked to leave the program, the bottom line is we don't trust you to look after yourselves and you're ruining the experience for others. So why you've signed on to this trip is because it's a team program. And what comes with a team experience is respect to each other, kindness to each other. And it's that simple. Do all that, respect the guides. You're never going to get an email from me. And that, let me tell you, I don't send many emails a year. I might just send 2 or 3. So you don't want to be that recipient of an email. Okay. So, but the guides are just there, especially when you're in Santa Teresa to keep you safe. As I said before, the town goes for about a kilometer. Now there's a dodgy end and there's a good end, like in every town. Okay, so listen up, stay out of the dodgy zone. Okay, keep in the good zone. So it's just listening and, it's just really good local advice. Most people come unstuck when it comes to health with dehydration. And if one of you gets on the plane with a bug and then spreads it amongst the group, it's like having nits when you were 6 years old at nursery. It's the same vibe. A cold can whip through the team. So let's hope none of you arrive, with a sick bug to share amongst you. So that is it from my little list. Has anyone got any questions? Oh, yes, Harry, one from you.
Well, I was just gonna, sorry, Angela, hammer home the importance of insurance.
Oh,
You will be working sort of around wildlife and have the opportunity to do extreme sports like the bungee jumping. So just making sure your insurance covers all of that is really important. But yeah, no, take it away, Angela.
Sorry, my name's actually Ella. This is on my mum's laptop. I was just wondering about obviously the backup phone. Should it just be like another iPhone or like a really old like flip phone or something?
Oh yeah, that is a good top tip. So yes, a, a, an old phone that you've got at home, anything. Because one of the things, if you um, lose your telephone, you're not going to get a new one out in Costa Rica unless you want to drop £2,000 on $2,000 on a new phone. Okay, so you don't want to do that. So if you've got an old knackered phone sitting in a kitchen drawer, sling it in your bag,
Okay.
just as a backup.
Hello, sorry.
Hello, Mom. Hi, Angela.
I'm not very technically minded, so just wondering, do you mean an old, like, good old Nokia that we
Yeah.
use, or are we talking like an iPhone, like an old iPhone? Because obviously
Well,
that needs to then connect to your Apple account or whatever Android phone you have.
do you know what? Whatever you've got knocking about. Yes, if you've got a spare iPhone, how very handy because you can just go straight to your Apple account and everything will re-download on the backup Apple phone. But seriously, don't overthink it because most people in a year you've probably got two broken phones.
Okay.
So it's just I don't overthink it. Just it's just if you've got something lurking, sling it in your bag.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. And also, when it comes to clothes and kit, we haven't really discussed that. Look at the kit list. Less is more because you will want to buy things when you're there. And when it comes to shoes, you need a pair of old knackered trainers for the hikes, a pair of those Arizona two-strap Birkies, plastic Birkies. They're brilliant. I know they're really ugly, but they're so useful. And a nice pair of trainers which you wear for going out in the evenings. You don't need any more than 3 pairs of shoes, maximum. Okay, girls, you're going to be in your swimmers, you're going to be in shorts and singlet tops. Boys, you're going to be in shorts and a t-shirt every day. Apart from when you're in Monteverde, when you need one pair of long trousers and a jacket and a fleece because it can get chilly in the evenings. Okay, so less is more. Um, any other questions? Oh, yes. Hi, Anna.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, does a post office travel card work in Costa Rica?
I would be, I don't know, is the answer to that.
Okay.
Most cards do, but I would take a backup card just in case.
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
In fact, all of you, if you have two cards, again, that's quite a useful kind of thing to take because should you go out one evening and leave your bag on a table and walk away and expect it to be there when you get back, then you've got a backup phone and a bank card stashed away in your accommodation. So when it comes to going out in the evening, what are you going to take? I would take one of those, those crossbody, cool little bum bags, crossbody bags. Take one of those, even you boys. They're so useful and you just don't take them off. So where it goes wrong is people take a little bag, they put it on the table, have a few drinks, go for a dance, and it's gone. Okie dokes. Any other questions? Good. Feeling confident, feeling you know what to pack, you know what to take, you know what you're expecting, you know how you got to behave, and that's it. You ready to go? Is that a thumbs up from you all? Okay.
Sorry, I just want to check. What time do you want us to get at the airport?
I would say 2.5 hours before,
Okay.
but then that all depends on how much you like an airport. I love an airport. I'm there at least 3 hours before.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I've got a question. How bad are the mosquitoes there? Because I suffer quite badly with bites. So
Okay, well then you've got to manage your bites.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, they are going to be around and about.
Hmm.
So if you suffer badly, then I would be making sure that you wear long trousers in the evening,
Hmm.
or you spray up before dusk. And what you've got to really manage is if you do get bitten, you don't scratch them so they get infected. I've seen that so many times. Okay, so
Yeah.
look after yourself. But the hospital, the doctors, and the clinics are amazing in Costa Rica. So if you've got something that looks dodgy, act on it. Don't just watch it fester.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Another little tip is mosquitoes tend to be more attracted to dark colors with clothes and things, so brighter colors can help stop that. You're on mute.
Oh yeah, top tip from our Harry. Okay, all good. Groovy. Great. Well, goodbye to you all. We look forward to following your adventures and seeing how it goes. So go forth and have fun. Goodbye from us.
Bye, guys.
Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.